Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we're going to have a look at the other great feature of our sim update number 15, and that is the Garmin G3X avionics. We're standing with our Crafters X Cup in Leutkirch, and we're going to fly it up to Tannheim, which is a lovely small general aviation field, also regularly referred to as Tankosh in reference to Oshkosh and the local air show, since they did have similar events there in the past. So today we are going to have a look at the avionics that we've got right in our aircraft over here, the Garmin G3X, which has seen an update with Sim Update 15, brought to the same working title standard that the other Garmin avionics are in Microsoft Flight Simulator, most namely the G1000, 3000, 5000 and so on. Okay, so let's go ahead and power our aircraft up. We're going to start with our master switch over here. Then strobe light can come on. Avionics switch not just yet, because we first of all want the engine instrumentation visible over here. Okay then, so mixture full rich, prop lever full forward, propeller RPMs slightly forward. Open up the fuel. Okay, on the right hand tank, that is looking good. And well, here we go. So, fuel pump can come on, the strobe light is already on. And with that, let's see if we can get it to actually start up. Right, here we go, that's a good startup on our engine. Let's lean it a little bit on the ground, like so, and that is looking good. Okay then, avionic master on, alternator on, and that's it. Okay, fuel pump can go off for now. So, our G3X avionics. These are what this is all about today. As you can see, a nice little compact version over here. You can split the display so that you've got a nav map and a primary flight display on here, and you also have a good lot of options that you can access through the menu key. Now, when you press the menu and the back keys, there are several menus that you can go through on this one, and we're going to explore a couple of them today. Most importantly for us today, if we have a quick look over here, you can see a lot of different options that we have available, but you can also see that there is no comprehensive flight plan menu in here as you might come to expect from Garmin avionics, and that is because these are mainly default VFR avionics and not very sophisticated IFR levels, even though they can be cross-coupled with the GNS 430 and 530, and then of course you do have IFR capabilities as well. What is really nice is when you go right up here to the front, you've got the flight control menu, and this is basically a little autopilot down here, so that is quite cool. Now, if you still want to work on your flight plan though, you can see that we do have some capabilities over here. So if we go ahead and program that stuff down here, then we can simply create a flight plan pretty similar to what you are used to from, let's say, default Garmin avionics. Okay, so small 10 nautical mile flight that we're doing over here, and that's basically all that we're going to need today. Now, a couple of basic functions we do have available in here, including TCAS, GPS satellites, engine monitor, and even a lean assist function. Gonna keep that off for now. Fuel calculations, and all the good default stuff that you need for your flight planning. With default, by the way, I don't mean system default, but piloting default. Let's call it like that. Alright, next up, as you can see through the back key, you can also split the menu all the time and create the full menu once again. When you go into the default menu over here, you can activate some insets, and that is what I'm going to do. So I want my nearest airports on the left, I want my flight plan on the right, I want a bearing pointer for the GPS up there, and you can see if we go in more options, then over here we can basically do most of the setups that other Garmin units also have available. Pretty much like this. So for example, if you don't like synthetic vision, you can turn it off over here and so on. Okay, so we're actually going to keep that off today. Likewise, the lateral deviation, we don't need that hugely precise avionics since we're flying in VFR. And that basically brings us to this kind of setup that we have over here. Okay, so QNH is set. We are going to cruise at 3,500 feet today, so let's go ahead and pre-select that. Like this, 3,500. The runway heading we will synchronize as soon as we're on the actual runway. And well, that's mostly it really. One thing that I just about see over here, if we just go to the setup one more time, all the way down, setup, and PFD, then in here we should also be able to change the altimeter units if I'm not completely mistaken. But can't seem to find that. Okay, well, if you guys know how to change this into hectopascals, then be sure to put it in the comments below. The menu is there somewhere, though I'm not 100% sure where exactly that is right now. Maybe over here in units? Oh yeah, here it is. Awesome. So we want hectopascals, and here we go, now we got hectopascals as well. Okay, excellent. So that basically leaves us with everything set up. And, well, then we are good and ready to go. So our transponder is on 7000, we turn it on. And 7000 is the VFR code over here. For our COM1, 122.8. Transfer that active. COM2, 121.5. Likewise, transfer that one active. And, well, that's it. Not a lot else to do here, really. That's about as easy as the airplane gets. So then, landing lights coming on steady. Park and brake is off. Brake check. Looking good. So looking at the windsock over there, we will be doing a backtrack and then departing into the opposite direction. Can do that. So you can see this is only the apron taxiway here, so we do need a backtrack actually. Okay, clear right side, clear left side. Lights all on. Oh, small little runway here. I'm not used to flying on these very small runways very much anymore, but that's fine. Okay, flight control track is looking good. Try to keep the plane somewhere near the center line, please. It is really going pretty quick, isn't it? Like when you don't keep the thrust completely in idle. Most general aviation engines don't really like it when you idle them too much, so I'm trying to keep a little bit of power in over here. Even though I do have to say that due to a lack of availability of flight manuals here, I am not 100% confident on my flying skills in the X-Cub. Alright, so lineup is complete. Then mixture full forward, prop full forward, fuel pump on. Flaps, we'll take the first flap position over here, and this is what they look like. They extend similarly? Or is it just a feeling that the left flap isn't deployed as far as the right flap? Well, yeah, if you compare this, if you just have a look at the structure of the window there, compare this to this, and it looks like the flaps have a slightly offset extension angle in the model. That's interesting. Never noticed that. Obviously, that would be more than reason enough to return to the ramp. But, well. Welcome to Flight Simulator. We don't have to care about stuff like that. Okay then, quick magneto check. Right magneto. Both. Left magneto. Both. And that's it. Rest is done. Flight controls are looking good. Okay, timer, start, takeoff. And the heading back is synchronized for the runway heading. Okay, rotate. Wind straight down the runway, as you can see. Therefore, not really any effect on the aileron. Okay, so trimming it out right over here. And that's looking good. Okay, flaps up. And we'll make a left-hand turn into the pattern. So, very easy to use avionics. If that little magenta bar over here is right on that outer dot, we are flying a rate 1 turn, which is exactly what we're aiming for. Climb at 3,500, so we're almost there already. Let's pull off a little bit of power here. And leveling off. So, flaps are up, fuel pump coming off, and the landing lights are going into the off position as well. Oh, don't climb away. So, 24 inches and 2400 RPMs. Should roughly be good for our flight. And this is looking pretty much perfect. Always incredible how fast that Cup can actually fly, isn't it? Like, it really looks like a bit of a bulky aircraft, especially the wings don't look very fast when you look at the plane from the ground, but man, this is a fast little airplane. Okay, so quick look into the engine instruments, lean assist on. Oh, that was a little bit too little. Okay, pretty much looking good. That's it. Fuel calculation. Plenty of fuel remaining, nothing to worry about. Excellent. So then we can get rid of the engine data. Bring up the nav display, please. Here we go. Nav map is on. We'll put it to track up. And here we go. So basically, along the rivers and all the way over. So we are crossing the final of Memmingen right now. We'll keep it nice and low down here, hoping that we're not going to meet any Ryanair. Even though I do have to say those air-to-air shots usually do look great. There's the runway of Memmingen. And up here is the river that we're looking for, that we are basically going to follow up north. Nice and powerful airplane, 120 knots. Ground speed even 10 knots higher due to a little bit of tailwind up there. And of course the true airspeed effect, 125. Okay, transponder on alt, just to be sure that they do really get us on TCAS in case there is any airliner flying in the area. But apart from that, neatly going. Okay, so our destination itself is located on a couple of fields. I have a feeling it is going to be somewhere over there in those fields. And the runway is basically crossed to where we are flying right now. So let's start initiating a small descent here down towards 3,000. Not too quick, 500 feet a minute is really all we need. So the wind is probably going to turn a little bit to the right as we start our descent, as is normal in the northern hemisphere. So let's make a right-hand turn and start searching for the traffic pattern somewhere. Okay, so in preparation for the landing, fuel pump on, mixture full forward, landing light on pulse. Why did the strobe light go off? Don't remember doing that. Okay, let's pull off the power. The field gotta be somewhere over here. I think this is it. That definitely looks like a little hangar over there. And that looks like a little runway. Yeah, this is probably gonna be it. Okay, so prop full forward. We have all the lights on again, fuel pump is on. And that's definitely our field down there. I'm going right over the village. That is going to give a noise complaint, that's for sure. Welcome to Germany. Okay. Full flaps. And down there is our runway. So we don't need the ND anymore. Let's go to the full screen display. Because I like to have my displays tidied up. Okay, a little bit of crosswind from the left. Can barely see anything outside. This is probably the nicer view for the landing. Okay, tiny bit of right rudder, decrab, flare. And here we are. Alright, welcome to Tannheim, my dear friends. So, runway is vacated, we'll just stop here for a quick moment. Okay, first of all, lean it a little bit. Flaps are going back up. Okay, fuel pump off. Landing light steady. And nav lights off. Okay, awesome. We'll go straight to the ramp. We'll just park it in front of the restaurant over here. Make sure not to break it and not to blow too many things away. And here we are. Okay, so brakes set, avionic master off, landing lights off, and then we can shut it down. Always turn those aircraft off using the mixture, never using the ignition, as otherwise some fuel may remain in the engine, and then if somebody should turn the propeller, ignition might occur, and that could definitely end up not quite healthy for the gentleman turning the propeller. Okay, so alternator off, master off, and that's it. So that is our G3X avionics. That's really how they are intended to do, and if you ask me, they are working pretty fine. It's actually quite a lot of fun flying with those, and just having all those options available. You know, I had an interesting discussion with somebody not so long ago who said, like, well, for default avionics, who needs all those options? Why don't just keep them the way they were and instead invest the time into creating a new aircraft instead of upgrading avionics? Well, I do have an opinion on that, and that opinion is actually the better avionics are simulated, the easier they get to use, because overall those airplane manufacturers really put some work into getting those things designed properly, and that is exactly what you can see. If those avionics are basically one-to-one mimicking the real world, then if you ask me, they become easiest to use, because obviously the real ones are designed to be as easy as possible. Remember those pilots flying them, they only probably fly, you know, once a month or something like. Many of them just do the bare minimum of hours. I believe that's 12 hours per year right now. So that is really not a lot of flying. So the simpler they are, the better they are. And well, I do believe Working Turtle have really managed to catch the G3X pretty well. I do have to add that I don't have experience with the real unit. I never was fortunate enough to fly one. But nonetheless, it does seem pretty good to me, and it surely is a lot of fun to use. You do have all those basic functions that you need for VFR flying, and when you hook them up to GNS 430 or 530, you can even use them for IFR navigation. So, with that, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed this little one. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to your feedback, looking forward to your general opinion on Sim Update 15, and as always, if you're up for more, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And finally, if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.